It's been 3 months since we met Özlem Ayna.
Hi, hello, good to see you.
She greets us with a warm smile.
Oh, you look good, you look well.
But it quickly becomes clear that underneath, she's struggling.
What are your hopes then for the future?
Sometimes there is not at all. I mean, what I experienced in these 3 months is a very heavy pain.
On February 6th, her life, like so many others, was shattered in the middle of the night by a violent earthquake. Underneath all of this, she was trapped for 4.5 days, pinned between slabs of concrete that crashed down through her first-floor apartment.
I'll get my cameraman Dimitri to just pan back over so
We watched, and so did many Canadians who saw her rescue unfold on their screens.
Rescue so close at hand. She's been in this situation, as you say, for 5 days.
Even before we knew her name, it was right in front of us, written on her keepsake box that lay among the slabs of concrete and twisted rebar.
It's like no other call I've been on.
Yeah, me neither. So it's a very special moment.
A search and rescue team from Burnaby, BC helped the local crews try and find a way to free her.
She can talk.
Oh, yeah.
She's very, very good.
But she can't move out. She can't move past the door.
No move. No.
After hours of risky, delicate work, this was the moment they were able to free her.
Oh, here she comes down here. Again, just an incredible moment.
She was rushed to the hospital, and we met her 2 days later.
How are you?
Doctors said Ayna's kidneys were failing because she was severely dehydrated from being without water for days. She had cuts and bruises, but her spirit was strong.
Can you tell me about the moment you heard the rescuers looking for you?
It was incredible. He told me to hold his hand. So I squeezed his hand so hard. He told me, calm down, we will save you.
Do you know anything more about the other people in your building? Have you been in touch with any of them? Do you know anything more about how many people survived?
I'm in touch with one of my neighbors. He lost his wife and 2 children. The family living next door, they're all gone. They're all dead. There are only 3 people rescued from the first 3 floors.
This was the moment rescuers started to pry her out. Her head was wedged between the rubble. And underneath these bandages, wounds that doctors initially thought were superficial, but proved to be much deeper. She needed several surgeries and skin grafts. A deep cut remains on her arm. And then there are the emotional wounds.
It's good that I had been rescued under the rubble after 5 days. Sometimes I feel so exhausted. I feel so indifferent. Even those clothes you see on me are not mine. I have lost everything, my health, my mental health in just 1 minute. I feel lost.
This visit was the second time she's left the hospital since the earthquake. During her first outing, she suffered a panic attack.
I recently went to a store because I don't have a lot of clothes. Nothing. I walked into the change room to try them on, but I couldn't. I was so bad at the time. Sometimes, especially indoors, I feel like I can't breathe. There is a feeling of choking.
Ayna has been seeing a psychiatrist and is on an antidepressant, but it makes her sick. It's hard to find the words to offer comfort. But we wanted to deliver some messages from Canada, including a care package from the Burnaby Search and Rescue Team.
This is a message that they wanted to pass on. It's in Turkish as well.
We admire your strength and resilience, part of the message reads. Despite her pain, she told us that she wanted to return to what was her home for a private visit.
I'm definitely thinking about going to Adıyaman and facing the truth. I have mixed feelings. On the one hand, it's the city that I worked for 9 years and I have memories. At the same time, it's the city where I had the worst time of my life.
This is what her block looks like now. Crews are clearing the rubble away, but part of her building remains, along with signs of the lives that were lived there.
So, Briar, you're back in London. Özlem was returning to what's left of her home. How did she handle that?
Well, it was a very traumatic visit for her, Ian. And in fact, she went back to her community of Adrienne because she wanted to vote in the elections. But she also wanted to see the damage for herself, really, and say goodbye because she has no plans on going back there. She worked there as a teacher for several years, but she's been reassigned to a new school in the fall. And she's really looking forward to that because she hopes it will be somewhat of a fresh start for her. And I think it's important to remember that she is just one individual. We know that there are 3 million people that have been displaced by the earthquakes, and they're all dealing with various levels of trauma.
All right. Thank you very much, Briar.